Okay, sorry about that. Syntax. Semantics. And pragmatics.
It's taught here in this university, all those disciplines, all those sub-disciplines of linguistics.
Yes, Abdullah touched on many of these sub-disciplines of linguistics. Remember, the course is only 10 weeks here at the university. They will teach one semester just on phonetics.
Yes.
Okay.
1 and 2, then go into phonology. Follow. Now, some of the sub-disciplines of phonetics would be auditory,
This is a good introduction.
phonetics, acoustic, phonetics, and articulatory. Phonetics, which we're going to focus on today. Phonetics is the concentrated study on the sounds of a language, the individual discrete sounds, phonemes. The individual discrete sounds and how they contrast with each other. Phonology and phonetics, they're like a married pair. Morphology and syntax, semantics and pragmatics. Phonology would be the study of those sound units as a whole, Let's say phonology would be the pot of soup. Phonetics would be the broth, the peas, the corn in the soup. Morphology is form, form. Etymology is a sub-discipline of morphology, word formation, orthology, which is spelling. Syntax is how you put words in order. You might be familiar with subject, verb, object. In English, subject, object, verb in other languages. Syntax, the ordering of words, sentences, and phrases. Semantics is the scientific study of meaning not in context. What I mean by not in context, you're just studying the meanings of words. You're not looking at the person, you're not looking at the gender, where something was said, how something was said. You're studying definition, not in context. Pragmatics is studying meaning in context. You want to look at the speaker. You want to look at how the speaker said it, where the speaker said it, etc. Okay? Everybody got this?
You said semantics not in context?
Semantics
Meaning not in context.
Not in context. Not in context. You're not looking at how the word was said, who said the word. You're just looking at the words and how they express meaning. You follow?
Yes.
Like he did with synonyms and antonyms.
No scrutinization.
No scrutiny. Very clear, yes. Okay, pragmatics, you want to know, you're studying words and meanings, phrases in context, contextual
With scrutiny.
conceptions, yes. Yeah. And then there's higher disciplines too, neurolinguistics, computational linguistics, psycholinguistics. What Abdullah is talking right now is social linguistics. Social linguistics, how it affects people in larger societies. Then you have theoretical linguistics. Theoretical linguistics take a language A that has no connection with language B and look at the affinities and how they contrast with one another. Theoretical linguistics.
And real quickly, phonology, the difference with the phonetics.
Okay,
They
phonetics,
seem
you're
alike.
you're studying the individual discrete phoneme sounds in isolation.
Isolated.
Phonology, you're looking at the sounds of an entire language, how they contrast together and parallel or associate with other languages. Now, phonetics is universal. The sounds of the way the human anatomy enunciates sounds is universal. It goes across broad
Is that
spectrums of language.
S-O-R-N? S-O,
SVO?
the S-O-R-M? Is that G?
SORM.
Oh, I know.
Auditory?
Biology. Oh,
On this side. Etymology?
above it.
Word formation?
Form.
Yeah.
Oh,
Form.
Oh, Lord, I can't even say.
Morph means form.
I'm sorry.
We're studying the form. Yes.
I was there since I can't even see.
That's just a brief overview, We're going to focus in on articulatory phonetics right now.
All right, well.
All right, everybody got this?
Yeah, 10 minutes out.
10 minutes?
No, you gonna continue next week.
All right.
Let's just gonna jump right into this next week.
Yeah, you just get started.
All right, what I'm going to do is start with basic explanation of
You could go just give the overview, finish the overview.
okay.
Just complete the overview.
All right. Language should be studied as a science, just like biology and anatomy, rather than as an art. The reason because we use our anatomy to emit sounds, to enunciate sounds. This right here, they even have a term for this picture right here. It's called a mid-sagittal. And what it does, it shows you the major and minor parts of our anatomy, our auditory vocal tract, how we enunciate sounds.
So you said this is called a mid?
The name, mid-sagittal.
Oh.
Mid-sagittal.
Would you write it down for me, please?
Mid-sagittal.
Thank you.
Bilabial will be our two lips. Our two lips. Labial dentals would be our bottom lip and top teeth.
So that's why, sometimes.
Dentals would be the teeth itself.
The-
Well, I'm gonna get to it. Alveolar.
Yeah, get on to that next week.
Alveolar, inside our mouths, the roof of our mouth is called the hard palate. The alveolar ridge is right before the roof of our mouth. We can follow our teeth. If you take your tongue and touch the back of your teeth, you'll see a little ridge there.
Yeah.
Alveolar ridge. The velar or velum, in the back of our throat, you have soft tissue. And this soft tissue, we can move it up and down. We can move it to a point to where it closes off all of the air. And the air can travel from our esophagus out through the glottis, through the larynx, pharynx, all the way up through our nose, and it expelled out. In linguistics, they call this, we might say nasal cavity. We can hold air in expel air out of our nasal cavity. In linguistics, they call this a non-articulating resonance chamber. Non-articulating resonance chamber.
Which one is it?
Right up in here.
Okay.
The velum is right here. This is just a basic chart right here. Of course, you have further down. You have the uvula. I'm gonna just name some other parts. The uvula, and then further down we make sounds called.
Bring it a little closer to the, yeah, they can't, it's that.
Pharyngeals.
Back it up a little bit.
You could take a picture by hitting that right-hand corner. That circle in that corner. It's not going to do anything, just touch it. It's not going to do.
I took 100 pictures.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah, you're not going to get no sound.
No, I didn't know. I didn't, there was no indicator.
Here you have the epiglottis. I mean, like this is just a basic chart. The epiglottis right here. Here you have the voice box, where the glottis is located in our vocal folds. This area right here would be the larynx.
So hold it up, Bob, so everybody can see.
Larynx. This area right here would be the pharynx. Let me see. The tongue. Just in most of the literature, you'll see them say apical would be the tip of the tongue. Apical. It gets very, very scientific. Laminal would be the middle of the tongue. Or they call it the blade.
Oh. That's why they say your tongue can cut like a, okay, got it.
Yeah. And the back of the tongue, that people call it the dorsal.
Okay.
You use all of these components, you know, like it's very mystical how we emit sound.
No, it's not, because you explained that to us. That is knowing. We do have the knowledge of how it sounds made.
Yes, it's going to get a little bit
Is that a
intensive
deep
than
dorsal?
this. Dorsal.
Okay.
D-O-R-S-A-L.
That's the back of the tongue?
The back of the tongue. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the way that linguists describe sounds, they use three criteria. Voicing,
3 minutes. I said he's going to finish this next week.
place of articulation, and manner of articulation.
Good job.
Voicing can be explained in two separate units. If we touch our throat and we say the sound of an S, we don't feel any vibration of our vocal cords. Now, if we contrast that with the sound, the sound of Z and zoo, we'll feel them, our vocal folds vibrate. They express then this voicing as plus, which would be vibrating voice, or minus, no vibrating.
He's showing you how it's done in linguistic books, so we got this, so this is etymology, so we want to bring y'all up. How we do it in linguistic books.
Okay, place of articulation is where in the vocal tract we utilize our articulators and non-articulating bodies of our vocal auditory channel to emit these sounds. Okay. Bilabials. Of course, our two lips. Bilabial, two lips.
Sound like a song.
Okay. Like I said, this is not complete. Labial dentals.
Yes, I usually she's weird.
Your teeth and lips.
Bilabials would be a complete stoppage of air and then the release of that air. As in, book. When you say the word boy, puh. As you say in the word pump, duh. As you say in the word door, you're stopping the air momentarily and then releasing it. The others would be T. No. B, P, and M. You don't, once I get to labial dentals, you'll see, I know Abdullah is going to call them dentals. Labial dentals, the two sounds that we make using the top of our teeth and the bottom of our lip is F and V. F as in food, V as in violet, F and V.
This will be the last one.
Okay, interdentals.
It's between.
Yes. The way that we enunciate interdentals is in between our two teeth. The tongue moves near the two teeth, but stops. Interdentals. Now look at this symbol that I'm writing here. This is called a theta. Theta. And this symbol represents the sound of like three. Your vocal cords are not vibrating. Three. The other interdental would be like a backwards six.
That would be the last one, Rob.
Yes. As in the word thigh, you'll feel your vocal cords vibrate. The.
And what's that sign called again? The backward six?
Okay, the backward six is called an eth or thorn. Eth, E-T-H, or thorn. Eth or thorn. They have names too, Abdullah. I just recently found this out. The A with the E next to it, it's called an ash.
We're gonna resume this, you wanna resume this lesson next week?
Okay.